kind of want to keep going with the Lonnie thing of just like I'd love to see this game be an experiment. Um, like for us, it would really help me in my case if we were able to see this happen and see Lonnie do well. Just because like if Trey moves up, Lonnie comes down, right? Their bench isn't exactly the greatest defensive bench.
Hmm.
They have a solid support. They have a solid role plays and everything good enough for them to make the playoffs, like I've said before. But their defense isn't crazy. Josh Richardson's a solid defender. I kind of question that Wes Iwundu is their starter just because I see Dorian Finney-Smith and Josh Richardson right here, and I don't know about all that, but I mean it's just what this projected lineup is,
Yeah.
um, and so because of that though, like their defense isn't crazy. Luka is not a great defender. Tim Hardaway Jr. is not a great defender. Kristaps not a great defender. They have some solid little bigs. Willie Cauley-Stein can get a block here or there. Dwight Powell's always been one to kind of throw down some of our stuff, and Boban, we love Boban, So it's
Yeah.
he'll be able to do a little something out there too. But their defensive perimeter stuff just isn't crazy, other than like the likes of Dorian Finney-Smith and Josh Richardson. So it's
Yeah.
like um like I think the bench role for Lonnie in this game would be amazing. It'd be amazing slot for him to work his magic. Like the last couple games that Demar wasn't playing, Lonnie got more shots up and it looked good. They weren't bad. And I've said this a bit. I feel like one of the things that we need to do is start running more plays through him. They don't have to be clutch plays, they don't have to be end of game plays, but let's run more plays through Lonnie. Let's give him the
Yeah.
ball, let him run his thing. Let's, DJ start the play, let Lonnie run some off ball screens, see if he can get himself an open look and let him do his thing. Like we haven't really I haven't really been able to see Lonnie take play written shots. I've seen him take last second shots. I've seen him take shots that you know it was supposed to be DeMar cutting, but because Lonnie's man dropped in, Lonnie gets an open shot. Like I've seen that stuff. But when are we gonna get a play that's run for Lonnie?
Honestly, I would say he has to show me a little bit more. He has to show
Willingness.
me, yes, willingness to take the shot. Like I would say you start with, let's run some plays for Lonnie to get an open shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Let's start with that. And if he shows that willingness, like, hey, the ball's coming to you, you are the shot. If you don't see it because of defense, then yeah, swing it and find something else or whatever. But I would like to see that a little bit more consistency first. Our point guards trying to set him up for open looks, and then I'll be a little bit more comfortable with, okay, now I want you to initiate the offense with the ball in your hands. I mean, he's shown that he can do a little bit of everything, but he's just shown a lot of times where he'll get the ball and he just doesn't have that willingness to shoot. And he said it
Mhm.
too about feeling a little passive, or I think he used the word nonchalant. So like I think he knows that it's there too. So correct me if I'm wrong. You're talking about using this game as like a opportunity for him to get more looks. But did you say that like in the starting lineup or moving him to the second?
Moving him to the second unit.
Okay, okay.
And
So
and like
and
I
then
said, that this helps my case in that sense of just like let's see what Lonnie can do off the bench. Let's
yeah,
let him be the scorer off the bench
yeah,
because I think um I've said this and I haven't been able to explain it correctly, but like over these last couple weeks I've been told what the right things to like to correctly express what I was trying to say, and that's like he is good. He's good on our starting lineup. He plays good there, as an off ball presence, being able to shoot right there when Demar and Lamarcus have the ball in their hands. Like he plays his role fine on our starting lineup, but he can be used so much more as the second unit's first option,
yeah,
you know, and especially with Derek out right now because Derek does not have the ball in his hands. Derek's not on the court. Who's
yeah.
gonna have the ball in his hands?
Exactly,
Well,
exactly, and I agree with you. Like you were talking about giving him ball handling responsibilities, and maybe when I was talking about the point guard setting him up first, I'm thinking more I'm thinking more DJ out on the starting unit. So yeah, I would agree. If you put him on the second lineup, then yeah, he can have some opportunities to have the ball in his hands, especially with Derek White out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and like, I guess one of the biggest questions would literally be like who would take that position, right? Like, where are we doing? And I never really thought about like moving up, right? Like we were saying for this game. So that's why I think this game would be the perfect opportunity to see it, because it's not like we're going out of our way to make it that Lonnie's coming off the second unit. It's that these are the circumstances. This
Yeah.
is what we're going to do to adjust to those circumstances. Now let's take advantage of the circumstances and try to experiment something, try to improve on something, you know?
Yeah, and and maybe that helps us if we put Lonnie on the bench, or we have we upsize a little bit to be able to match Kalisan and Porzingis. Maybe Lonnie's a little bit too much to handle on the second unit, and they have to kind of break up their strong starting lineup a little bit and put Porzingis out with the second unit and separate him and Kali Steins, you know what I mean, or separate him and Doncic to kind of spread out their attack or something like that. So maybe we can force them to do that a little bit by having a really strong offensive second unit led by Lonnie, you know what I mean, for that night or whatever. I honestly, I'm open for that. If not, or for nothing more than just like what we said about like at some point we want to start to see the responsibility switch over to the young guys, and this is a good way to do it in where it's not like the crunch time game, but it's in the flow of the game. You have a lot more responsibility tonight. Let's see what you can do. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? I would agree. I would be down to see a Lonnie Walker led bench against the Mavericks in a couple days.
And
Go ahead.
just to kind of say this of like Derek, like the responsibilities of Derek when he gets back. If Lonnie came off the bench, starting that game, and then we're like talking about it, and then we say, well, what are we gonna do when Derek comes back? Well, I think either Derek can start or he can come off the bench with Lonnie, and Derek's
Hmm.
shown that he does not need the ball in his hands to be impactful. Like I I've never seen Derek as being a 20-point per game scorer that needs the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
He can get his 20 points every now and then. Let's just say like Lonnie's being a little streaky. DJ isn't hitting his shots. Keldon's kind of missing a couple. Yeah, Derek, step up to the plate. He'll do it. But Derek does so much all around that he doesn't need the ball in his hands. He
Yeah.
can be the starting playmaker. He can definitely be, once DJ comes out, Derek comes in, now Derek's running the plays and it's perfect.
Yeah.
But like if Lonnie's still that first option coming off the bench, I don't think that hurts Derek at all. I think Derek will still be able to get his due and be able to find his impact, especially coming off another same toe injury. Like that first game that he came back with, he looked solid, but you could tell that it needed
Yeah.
time for him
Yeah.
to
Exactly.
to get better, to get
I,
back
I
to
like
his
I like that
100%.
Jake. I really like that idea too about the idea of using Lonnie's abilities as a way to kind of help not have to have Derek White do so much with his legs. Not to say that he's an old man already and that we need to protect him at all costs. With our conservative methods of like player health, but just the idea of him not having to be 100% running the offense, because he's got another guy out there with him. I like that idea too. Uh, um, I think that could work, and I think most of us would love to see KJ or sorry, DJ and Derek White kind of be separated and just like be our point guards all at all times. I think
Yeah,
we we
I,
we,
I
we kind of already talked about that before, but
yeah,
you know,
I'd love to see 48 minutes divided between Derek and DJ.
yeah, that I
You
think
know,
I, I think I think that would be great. And like you said, maybe this is an opportunity where we put Lonnie on that second unit and already start to give him some of his minutes of trying to feel what his role is going to be like with those guys. So now when Derek comes, it's not like Derek has to come in and really just solidify the group. Or I guess I should say all he has to do is come in and solidify that second unit instead of coming in and like building out that second unit. You know what I mean?
hmm
We already have a point of attack, which is Lonnie Walker, and now you can come in and really start to gel us all together with your point guard skills and your IQ and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So,
and
uh,
and it's not even like I wouldn't say like if we ran like super small ball, but like no, yeah, like if we ran a second unit of um Patty, Derek, Lonnie, Rudy, Jakob. That doesn't sound bad.
Yeah, I mean, you'd probably put Lonnie like in that 3 spot in terms of like who he's guarding.
Yeah.
And then what? Derek White at the 2, just in terms of
Mhm.
size, right? And then
Yeah,
Patty at the
in
1.
terms of size. And
Yeah,
then but still Derek's still running that point of, being the playmaker and stuff. Patty doesn't have to have the responsibility of being a playmaker. And
dribble, 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 dribble.
yeah, I love Patty to death, but that 1 year where he had to be
Yeah.
that playmaker for our team was not pretty. It wasn't at all.
Are you talking?
So
Are you talking about when we were missing Tony Parker so much that year? Is that the one you're talking about?
I think so.
Where Tony Parker went to Charlotte and then like Dejounte got hurt or something or
Oh
somebody.
yeah. I think so. I think that was
Yeah,
that year. Like
yeah.
Dejounte
We,
hurt his
we were severely lacking that point guard. Yeah, so I agree. If we can have Patty out there be the guy who you cannot sag off of him because he'll take the 3 and he'll make the 3, so that makes Lonnie's lanes a little bit more wide open. It makes Derek's lanes a little bit more wide open. I like that. Still trying to figure out where the heck we're gonna fit Samanic and some of these other guys, but yeah, no, yeah, I'm into that. I'm into that for sure.
and all that to say that it hurts my heart whenever I said that second unit and I didn't mention Devin. It hurts
Yeah,
my
right.
heart. But
And go ahead.
he's the rookie, and for me at this point, I'm not gonna be upset if it says Derek, Lonnie, Devin instead of Patty, Derek, Lonnie.
Yeah,
But
and maybe Pat. Well, I mean, dang, you hate to lose that resource, and you know that he's gonna go out there and try to give you the night that you want, which is I'm only missing 1 or 2 threes. I'm scoring 18 points for the night. Like you know
mhm,
that's what he's trying to do. So, but also as soon as we start once we get Derek back, it is gonna get a little crowded, and
mhm.
we already are not seeing Samanic and not seeing Trey,
But
in terms of the bigs.
at the same time, I will say, like, at the beginning of the season, it was more hard for me to say, like, oh, let's take minutes away from Patty. But the season's gone on. We've gone 15 games in. It's very clear to see that Patty, like, he plays great. He does his job right. But there are gonna be those nights where he's off. And if we have Derek back and stuff like that, and Lonnie, or not Lonnie, Patty is a little streaky at the beginning of the game. Well,
Yeah,
we don't have to let him be a liability on the court. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And not to say that Patty is always a liability, but if he's not making his threes, Devin Devin is
yeah.
somebody that, like, if he's missing his threes, he's still out there being I think 6'7", with long wingspans, being a defensive presence out there, whereas Patty's a defensive liability
Yeah.
sometimes.
I could
So
see that. I could see that you put Patty out there with the second unit to start, but you pay attention to his shooting rhythm and all that kind of stuff. And now, like you're saying, you don't have to ride or die with Patty on your second unit. You have an option to sub him out for Vassell, right?
mhm,
So I agree. I like a lot of that. We can still find some minutes and find some lanes in for the Rook to get in because everything that he's done, man, like so far, like every bucket he makes, every shot he takes, you're like good, like go get you that, like go get you
yeah,
that Rook, because
even if it just hits off the rim, like, it still looked fine. It
yeah,
still, like, the one thing that I wouldn't want to hear is that his confidence got lowered because he's taking good shots. He's taking the right shots. He's doing the right stuff. It's just eventually he'll get to the point to where he'll start knocking them down,
yeah.
and he's
Yeah,
just a rookie.
and we do got to remember too, like the Spurs. It's a blessing for us to be able to see so much of Vassell this year. You know what I mean?
I know,
So
man.
in due time, we'll be able to have him as a solid rotational piece, like for the next couple years, moving forward. So that'll be fun. All right, Jake. We're at an hour and 50.